Join me in today's video for a cozy reading vlog of the YA fantasy book Dragonfruit by Makiia Lucier. So this is already very interesting. I'm only on page 2, but they're talking about the sea dragons already. And when I think of sea dragons, for whatever reason, I think of them being blue because of the color of the ocean. But this one already describes them as being all different colors, because there's a red one, a gold one, and one that's the color of pearls. So I think that is very interesting. Hi, so I am back with a reading update. So I started reading Dragonfruit before I went to work yesterday, and I read some more this morning. So I am currently on chapter 10, page 103. So I want to give my first thoughts and tell you a little bit more about the story now that I've read some of it. So our story takes place in a world where there are sea dragons, and one of our main characters at the beginning of the story, Hannah Lee, is following this certain group of sea dragons. So in this world, there are sea dragon hunters who sell the sea dragons for a profit, but Hannah Lee is not a hunter. She is more of a scholar, so she'll go around observing the sea dragons, and then she sells that knowledge that she learns about them in order to make a living. And unfortunately, her observing this certain group of sea dragons ends up with her running into a certain sea dragon hunter, and Hannah Lee has a past with this sea dragon hunter, and he is a horrible person. And when he comes across her this time, he is very suspicious of her because somehow she always ends up finding the sea dragons before he does. And he is not wrong in his suspicions, because Hannah Lee does have a sixth sense when it comes to sea dragons, because she has a connection to them and she is kind of able to tell like where their location is. And this is because when she was 8 years old, she came down with this illness and her father cured it by feeding her a dragon fruit. And dragon fruits are the eggs of sea dragons, and they are very rare. And her father stole this dragon fruit from the royal family of their home island of Tamarine. And this is very bad because the princess, who is the heir to the throne, also has the same illness as Hannah Lee, and her only chance of being cured was by the dragon fruit, but there was only one dragon fruit left. So Hannah Lee and her father have to flee the island. And unfortunately, the magic of the dragon fruit always comes with a cost, and so not long after Hannah Lee is healed, her father ends up dying, and she is left by herself and has to fend for herself. And that is how she originally met this dragon hunter, because she worked for him for a while before going off on her own and becoming a sea dragon scholar. And so the sea dragon hunter ends up locking her away on his ship. In addition to Hannah Lee, there's also another main character in the story, and that main character is Sam, and we are introduced to him in chapter 3, and he's actually the son of the princess who is the heir of Tamarine. So Sam and Hannah Lee are childhood friends, and ever since Hannah Lee and her father fled the island, Sam has been trying to find another dragon fruit for his mother, but so far he has had no luck. So the book switches back and forth between Sam and Hannah Lee's perspective. Then on page 83, Sam and Hannah Lee end up reuniting. And that is where I'm at in the story, where Sam and Hannah Lee have finally been reunited. So now for my thoughts so far. I am really enjoying this book so far. I really like the dragon lore in the book, because a lot of the times the books I read with dragons have fire-breathing dragons, but this book has sea dragons, which has been very fascinating and different to read about. And I like the whole mythology surrounding them and the dragon fruit eggs, where the dragon fruit is kind of magical and can grant a wish but at a price. And so far, I'm really liking Sam and Hannah Lee as characters, and just seeing the two of them reunite after 10 years was so heartwarming, and I have a feeling that I'm really gonna love their dynamic as the story goes on. And the fruit bat has made an appearance, and it's just as adorable as I was hoping it would be. And it is actually Sam's companion, and it's actually not just a fruit bat. It's very like unique what it actually is. So in this book, sometimes people end up getting these marks on their body that look like tattoos and always take the form of animals, and they just one day randomly appear on their body, and they usually appear on the person's body between the ages of 15 and 20. And in addition to that, when the fruit bat comes off of Sam's body, it also has magical powers, which I thought was really cool and whimsical. So those are all my thoughts on Dragonfruit at the moment. I'm super excited to read some more and see how our story develops. But before I do that, I'm going to take a little break and bake some cookies. And I am theming the cookies to this book loosely because I'm going to make some cinnamon cookies that look like sand dollars. And I thought they'd just be cute to make in this video because they go along with the whole beach theme that's going on in this book. But before that, I'm going to have lunch. And before that, I have a little bookish item that I got recently to share with you. And so the item I have is a bookmark that I have had my eye on Amazon for a while, and the other day it went on one of their flash sales and was half off, so I ended up buying it. And it is this little Nessie bookmark, which I think is adorable, and also I'm gonna take it out of this package and put it into Dragonfruit because I think it matches the whole sea theme very well. Look how cute it is. So I'm gonna take out my current bookmark, which is this little mermaid one. I think it just goes like that. That is so cute. Alright, I'm gonna go get some lunch and then bake my cookies. So for lunch, I just made myself a little egg salad sandwich, and I have some goldfish on the side. And goldfish are like one of my favorite snacks. And in honor of reading Dragonfruit, I got this raspberry dragonfruit black bubble tea. I've never had this bubble tea before, so it'll be interesting to see what I think. So I'm gonna eat this, watch some booktube, and then go bake my cookies. So I'm back with a reading update. My last update was on Sunday, and now it's Wednesday, and I only have about 150 pages left of this book, so I wanted to give one final update before I finish this and give my final thoughts. And I am very happy to say that I am loving this book. I feel like I've been loving so many books so far this year, and that just makes me so happy. And I easily could have binged this on Sunday, because it's just so readable and I'm just flying through the pages. But I really just wanted to take my time reading this and just enjoy the ride. And one of the things I'm really loving about this book is just the warm-hearted atmosphere. And if you look on the back of the book, this is blurbed by Heather Fawcett, who wrote Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. And she does describe it as a warm-hearted fantasy, and it is exactly 100% that. The tone of this is so warm and hopeful, and I'm loving it so much because this story could have easily went the other way, because Hana Lee returns to her home island after 10 years away because her father stole the dragon fruit to heal her, and the princess of the island also has the same illness that she did, so she also needs the dragon fruit, and the dragon fruit that Hana Lee's father took was the only one left. So the princess is still sick. And Sam, her childhood friend, is the princess's son, so he easily could want revenge against Hana Lee and could just hate her. But he doesn't. He welcomes her home with open arms and is just really happy to see her because she was her childhood friend, so he doesn't want her dead, and he forgives her, and he also understands, like, it was her father who actually took the dragon fruit. But he's also just happy to see her well. And at the same time, Sam's grandmother also welcomes back Hana Lee. And I just thought that was so sweet. Like, they forgive Hana Lee and they realize that it's not 100% her fault that her father took the dragon fruit egg. And also, it's just a bad situation. Like, they don't want either Hana Lee or Sam's mother to be dead. They want them both to be better. And so that just makes me happy that the atmosphere is so warm-hearted and forgiving, and you just really get a sense of, like, community because everyone's always helping each other out and treating each other as family in this book. And also another thing that kind of goes along with the atmosphere is that this book is reminding me a lot of Moana. The more I read it, the more I keep thinking about Moana, and the Moana songs have been playing in my head. And I think that's because the atmosphere of Moana is also, like, warm-hearted and fun, and also has an emphasis on family and community. And also, Hana Lee reminds me a little bit of Moana as well. And they're also kind of both redemption stories and about righting a past wrong. And one other small thing that was also giving me Moana vibes is, in this book, I talked about a little bit in my update, but some of the characters have these markings that look like tattoos that move around on their bodies. So that also just makes me think of Maui's tattoos from Moana. So those are all my thoughts right now. My next reading update will be when I finish this book and my final thoughts. But before I go read some more of this, I just want to give a little update on my little Nessie bookmark. So I still think this bookmark is super adorable, but I do want to say that if you are interested in one of these, just be warned that it does fall out a lot. So right when you open the book, it immediately falls out. And I would say it's probably fine if you're just leaving your book at home. But if you want to bring your book somewhere else, I wouldn't trust this bookmark to stay in place. And also I'd be afraid that the head would break off. And I do like to bring my books to work. So I've been switching this bookmark out when I take it to work. I've been using this one again at work. But overall, I don't regret this purchase because I think it's super adorable and it was on sale, so. And if you are interested in this, I will put the Amazon link down below. And one other thing that I want to mention my thoughts on is this boba tea. So I did end up really liking this. It was good, and the little popping boba that are in here are really fun when they pop in your mouth. I will say, though, I also got this on Amazon, and it is a little pricey, so I probably won't be getting these very often, but they're nice for, like, a little treat every once in a while. So yeah, I'm gonna go read some more of this. I'll either finish this today or tomorrow, and then I'll be back with my final thoughts. So they are hunting the sea dragon, and I really don't want them to kill this dragon. I'm hoping they find, like, a different solution and I don't have to kill it and to get the eggs. guys, so I have finished this book and I loved it. I'm giving it 5 stars. What did I love about it? I loved everything. I loved our main characters, Hannah Lee and Sam. I love that Hannah Lee's strength came from knowledge and experience and not some supernatural ability. That just felt really refreshing. For example, at one point, because of her knowledge of the sea dragon, she does end up saving the lives of 26 people. And then Sam himself, he is very much a cinnamon roll character in many ways. Like, he's gentle, kind, and caring, but also he can be fierce too if you mess with anything that he cares about. I very much love the dynamic between Hannah Lee and Sam. I will say that there is not a heavy emphasis on their romance in the book, but the moments that we do get are very sweet and cute, and the romance just, it happens very naturally and feels very organic. Like, they were childhood friends, and then when they re-meet after 10 years, it's clear that that past is still there, and you can kind of see their childhood friend feelings turning into something else. I also loved all the animal companions in this book as well, and there were also memorable side characters too. And in particular, there was one side character when first introduced, I didn't like her very much, but by the end of the book, I really liked her character, so I think whenever a book can do that, that it has very good characters. I also love the world building and atmosphere of the book. So I know I mentioned earlier that this book has a very warm feeling atmosphere, and going along with that, the island of Tamarine, where the majority of the book takes place, is a very magical and whimsical place that has magic that only works on that island. For example, some of the people on the island of Tamarine have these markings on their skin that take the form of animals and look like tattoos. And these markings can actually come off of their skin and turn into physical animals. But if the people who have these markings ever go off of their island, then the markings are just tattoos. And similarly, I really love the lore of the sea dragons and the Dragonfruit. I love very much the characterization of the sea dragons. I love that there were wild, fierce creatures that people fear because they will swallow a human whole. Yet at the same time, the people on the island respect and revere them and see them as majestic creatures. And I love that we got to see all those sides of the sea dragon in this book. Like, you get to see the fierce side, but you also get a scene of a sea dragon mother who is still mourning the death of her children 10 years later. And that scene was very moving and heartbreaking. And also then you get another scene where a sea dragon is being playful with Hannah Lee. So I just loved seeing all those different sides of the sea dragons, and they felt just as real as the human characters in the book did. And by the end of the book, the sea dragons really had my heart. And I also really liked how the plot was handled and how everything was wrapped up. And there was a certain thing that I wondered how it was going to be resolved. And I think the way it was resolved fit the very warm-hearted tone of this book. And there are some exciting moments in this book, but overall, this book just feels really cozy and comforting and like a warm hug. And I'm pretty sure that this book is a standalone because everything is wrapped up very nicely at the end. Overall, I would definitely recommend this book, especially if you like warm-hearted fantasy with magic, dragons, and cute animal companions. So we have made it to the end of the video. If you have read Dragonfruit, let me know down below what you thought of it. And if you made this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye!